If you can shift between being really tough, between being really soft, between being obstinate, if you are able to switch mindsets depending on the circumstances you face and not falling trapped to this idea that I'm just going to pick the easy path, but pick the right path, you're going to go far in life.
Welcome to the Hard Way podcast with Joe Sena, founder and CEO of Spartan Races. We're teaching you how to overcome your obstacles in your life the same way we teach our 10 million plus Spartans to overcome obstacles on the course, with insight from the smartest, most accomplished experts from every corner of the world. Get ready to elevate your life today.
Welcome to the Hard Way podcast. Joe Sena here. This is a solo episode. We're going to be talking about mental flexibility, similar to metabolic flexibility, where your body's able to burn sugar or fat depending on your needs. Not everybody has metabolic flexibility. Mental flexibility allows you to apply a different mindset to different obstacles we face in life. And that's not easy. That's not easy because we've been taught our whole lives to be tougher, to be more resilient, to fight through, to never, ever, ever quit. But actually, if we've got mental flexibility, if we're able to apply a different mindset to different situations, we're going to be much more successful in life. Is it harder? Much harder to do. It'd be much easier if we said, just go in this direction, don't stop until you get it done. Instead, what we're asking you to do is, you might want to go backwards, you might want to go left, you might want to go right. It really depends on the situation you're facing that day and how to apply the different mindsets to it. There's a great term called metabolic flexibility, and it's the ability for the human body to switch between burning fat or burning sugar. And if you've got metabolic flexibility, you've really got something special because you've got endurance, right? Sugar only lasts so long. Fat you can burn for a long, long time. Mindset has a similar philosophy. Mindset, if you can shift between being, really tough, between being really soft, between being obstinate, between being flexible, if you are able to switch mindsets depending on the circumstances you face and not falling trapped to this idea that I'm just going to pick the easy path, but pick the right path, you're going to go far in life. Just like having metabolic flexibility. So I believe there's not one road to the top of the mountain. There's not one path. There's multiple roads, but there is a nuance to it. You need to be able to stay focused and grounded enough to not just choose the easy way. Remember, our brains are designed to take the easy route, to survive, to not go out in the cold, to not fall off the cliff. And so we're naturally going to pick the mindset that's easiest, especially when the going gets tough. And the magic is picking the mindset that's right for that particular obstacle you're facing, not necessarily the easy mindset. It's scary because you don't always know that you chose the wrong mindset for that particular obstacle until it's too late, until you've already, made that decision. The example I like to give the most is we're climbing Mount Everest, you and I, and we're 100 meters from the top. For you, you want to be the greatest mountain climber that ever lived. You're setting a world record today. For me, I want to be the best dad that ever lived. I've got 3 kids. My wife's pregnant at home. But I'm going for it. You and I are buddies, and we're 100 meters from the top, and it looks like we're going to make it. It's a sunny day. Well, the weather turns, and it's past noon, and everybody knows past 12 o'clock on summit day, if you're not on summit, you've got to turn around for safety. You might go for it because your mindset, your situation in your life allows you to take that chance, take that risk. Me, I probably turn around. Now, do I turn around? Does my ego get involved? Do I get sucked up in the fact that you're going to summit and I'm not going to, right? Do you turn around because it's getting too cold, and even though you're so close to breaking this record, right? So it's real. Like this is what separates people that summit and people that don't, people that succeed, people that don't, people that have 50-year marriages, people that don't. So, if this was easy, this is not easy. This is extreme balance. This is the ability to be able to stay grounded, stay focused, keep your shit together when the going gets tough, and apply the right mindset at the right time. Not easy to do. Wouldn't it be easy, by the way? Wouldn't it be easy if we just said, be stoic, be resilient, don't ever, ever, ever quit, like Winston Churchill said? That would be easy. I just follow those guidelines, but it's not always applicable. It really depends on the situation. I mean, we all know that most of us, we have friends, we have family, ourselves, we all know that the approach we're taking is the wrong approach most of the time because we're looking for the easy way out. We take the shortcut. We hit the snooze button. We eat the cookie. We don't eat the salad. We skip the gym membership, even though we have it and we've been paying for months. So we all know most of us are not applying the right mindset to our daily activities. If we were, then 30 days after New Year's, we wouldn't have everybody forgetting about their New Year's resolutions. A few of us are doing it in reverse. A few of us are so hard-headed, are so stoic, are so resilient, are so crazy and maniacal about it that we're going in the wrong direction that way too. Like, there are times where we should let up. There are times we should recover. There are times we should sleep. There are times we should be malleable. We should be flexible with people. We don't have to hold the line at all costs. We've seen heroes in movies. We've read about them in books that are so resistant to change and so focused and so hardcore. Tommy Lee Jones, whoever it may be, right? Like, to their own detriment. And then we've got, Hello Kitty on the other side that's so damn flexible, can't get anything done. You got to write it down on paper. You got to physically write it down. You've got to say to yourself, these are my values. This is what I stand for. This is what's important to me. And this is the mindset that is applicable to those values, those standards, those things that are important to me. And you got to do it in the comfort of your own home, where you're not under stress, where you're not being pulled to make a decision or use a mindset that's the wrong mindset. And when you lay that out, get it laminated, stick it in your pocket. And you've got to be able to pull it out in those tough moments where you're 100 meters from summiting Everest, and remember what you stand for. Remember the mindset that is most applicable in that situation, that's going to get you through it. You don't drive for 7 hours without looking at a map and then pull out a map and expect to figure out, like, at that moment where you are and where you're going. You've got to do it in advance of getting in the car. Not only have that list, but think about the mindset that you have to achieve that list. Think about the way you need to act, the way you need to think to achieve those goals you set out for, to live those values that you find important to you. You got to think about that mindset because it's so easy for us to fall into the trap of what feels comfortable and the mindset that's most comfortable. The challenge I would give to people would be to lay out your values, lay out what's important to you, lay out what your standards are, the person you want to be, and then overlay what mindset you need to achieve that, to achieve optimal. Laminate it, stick it in your phone, make it your screensaver, to your point, and then reference it when the going gets tough, when you're out there in the storm. Look, I certainly branded myself as a hardcore individual that gets things done at all costs. But, there have been moments where my wife has been pregnant or our kids were growing up and I had signed up for a big event and I wanted to be a tough guy. And I told everybody I was doing it and it fit my narrative and my story. And I certainly had to do what I said I was going to do, but then realized there are more important things in life in my particular situation, and pivoted. And you really got to do a head check in those moments, because it's like, am I pivoting because I really don't want to do the event, it's too hard, or am I pivoting because it's the right thing to do at this moment? I remember I came across the finish line of the Ironman Switzerland, and it was like my 14th Ironman that year, and I was trying to set a world record, and my wife is 8 months pregnant at the finish line. And she's like, what are we doing? Are we doing Ironmans? Or are we having a family? Or what's our plan here? And that required a shift in mindset. Yeah, I understand, Joe, that you're out there pounding your chest and trying to be this tough guy and set these world records and do all that. But like, you're human also. You have a family. It's growing. You might have to pivot here. You might have to think differently. You got to have your list because you're going to find reasons. Your mind will manufacture reasons to not stick to your goals, values, standards when the going gets tough. It'll craft reasons. And you got to make sure you're pivoting or shifting your mindset for the right reason, not because the going got tough. Think about, I was so impressed. I heard last week that Meyer Shapiro, one of the best wrestlers in the circuit these days, he's at Cornell. He was taunted by an opposing team 3 weeks ago. And it was so bad, they were taunting him so bad that it would have been justified for him to get in a fight off to the sidelines, off the mat. No one would have questioned it. Like, he should knock this guy out. But instead he shook his hand and he said, look, I don't want to beef. And so that's a shift in mindset, which is completely different than the mindset he uses to get to the top of the heap in wrestling, right? He's a tough guy. And it's almost more powerful looking from the sidelines and saying he was able to put down his gun and act like a good human in a public setting and do the right thing.